Buckle up. Drop-Off just got smarter. This is the Carpool Dad podcast, where coffee is strong and opinions are stronger. Let's roll.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Carpool Dad podcast. I'm Raz, your host. We're in a car. It's the morning. It's a Friday morning, which is a good thing. It's just me and whatever parenting chaos happened last night that I'm still emotionally recovering from it. And listen, I'm a little tired today. Not like normal tired. Not I stay up too late watching Netflix tired. I'm like parent tired. That very specific kind of tired that shows up around 8:45 p.m. when you think you made it. You think you crossed the finish line. Dinner? Check. Dishes? Sometimes. Check. Homework meltdown? Survived. You get through the whole bedtime routine too. The PJs, the brushing teeth, the classic kid line, "I'm not tired, Dad." Guys, your eyes are like 25% battery right now. You blink like a broken traffic light. You're leaning against the wall like a drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. But somehow, they're not tired. So finally you think, okay, 10 more minutes. It's time to get the kids in bed. Then, the couch is mine. A little Netflix, maybe a little gaming, maybe a trail mix. Just excited quietly like a human being for 5 minutes. And right when I'm about to escape, "Dad, can you do the story time?" Oh boy. Now listen, I love story time. I really do. When it goes right, man, it's actually one of the best part of being a parent. Kids are tucked in. The house gets quiet. For once, they're not bouncing off the walls like caffeine squirrels. And they're just sitting there looking at you like you're the most important person in the world. That moment? Yeah, man. That hits. That's perfect. But last night, man, I'm gonna go through with you guys. Last night's story time betrayed me. So my kid grabs a book, and immediately I know I'm in trouble. Because it's not like a bedtime book. That thing has chapters, bro. It has a table of contents. They're characters with backstories. I flipped to the back just for curiosity. 200 pages. I'm like, "Bud, when did we start this novel?" My son goes, "We started last week, Dad. We're on chapter 6. I was like, "Wait, what? Chapter 6? Sir, I don't even remember chapter 1 through 5. At that point, I had a moment of reflection. Like, are these my kids? Am I in the wrong house? Apparently I read them already. Apparently, chapter 5 ended on a cliffhanger because my son goes, "You have to find out what happened with Officer Knight." I'm sorry. Who's Officer Knight? I have never met this man in my life. I knew I ain't gonna win this battle. So I sit down, I open the book, and by the way, it's a Dogman book. So I start reading chapter 6. And for the first few minutes, I'm actually doing great. I'm locked in. Dogman is dealing with some school drama. There's a cafeteria situation. There's a friendly problem. Honestly, I'm kind of invested. Then I hit a sentence. I read the sentence. I get to the end of the sentence. And I have no idea what I just said. Or read. You ever do that? Like, the words come out, they were technically English, I think. Then they were in the right order, but your brain was not in the building. My mouth is reading the book, but mentally I'm somewhere else. I'm thinking about tomorrow at work. I'm thinking about the email I forgot to answer. At one point, I'm pretty sure I was thinking about the trail mix in the pantry. Yeah, that trail mix was calling my name. Suddenly, my son goes, "Dad?" And I looked at him and I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You skipped a part." No, I didn't. He goes, "You went from Dogman walking into the cafeteria to Officer Knight outside. You skipped like a whole page." Now I'm confused. I look down. Yeah, he was right. I skipped a whole page. Just delete it from existence. Dogman had an entire cafeteria adventure, and I erased it from history. So now I gotta go back. I find the page. I start reading again. But this time I'm focused. I'm locked in. Again. And I'm doing voices now, guys. This is huge. Because once you start doing voices for the kids, there's no going back. I'm committed. So I got the Officer Knight voice. I got the Mr. Whiskers voice. You know, Mr. Whiskers has a little high pitch. Officer Knight is more serious. It's a whole performance. I'm basically doing a one-man Broadway show. And then I look up, and he's asleep. Completely asleep. Mouth open, out cold. I'm over here performing a full cast production. And this man checked out mid-scene. Dogman's whole story. Wasted. But then, I noticed something. My daughter is in the room. I don't know when she got there. She just appeared. You know, some kids just do that. They just materialized like little ninjas. Like her mother. Ugh. And she's sitting on the floor listening. And she looks up at me and goes, "What happened next? Can you read in my room, Dad?" And I'm like, "Girl, I don't know. I haven't read ahead. I don't know what happens with Dogman. I don't know if Officer Knight goes to jail. I don't know if Mr. Whiskers opened a bakery. I have no answers." But she's looking at me like I'm the storyteller. Like I wrote the book. So you know what I did? I closed the book. I made it up, took her to her room, and just started freestyling a story. Dogman gets a big moment. Officer Knight has a redemption arc. For some reason, I added a science fair subplot. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It felt right. And my daughter is sitting there, cross-legged on the bed, completely locked in. Eyes wide open. Like I'm the greatest storyteller on earth. So I end the story on something hopeful. Dogman figures it out. Officer Knight learns a lesson. Everybody wins. Then I looked at her and said, "Go to sleep." You know, my daughter looks at me and goes, "That was a good story, Dad." And I say, "Thank you." Then I walked out, grabbed my trail mix, hoping my wife doesn't walk in with a million questions. Sat on the couch, and honestly, that might have been one of the best things I did all week. Which is crazy, because technically, I skipped a page, I zoned out, I made up the ending to someone else's book. By every measurable standard, that is bad reading. But my kids thought it was great. And that's the kind of the whole job, right? Parenting isn't perfect. Sometimes you skip pages. Sometimes you zone out. Sometimes you make stuff up. But if the kids go to sleep feeling good, feeling safe, feeling like someone showed up for them. That's the win. All right, folks, that's the ride today, and remember, if you messed something up yesterday, but your kids still smile before bed, you're doing all right. See you next ride.
Thanks for riding with the Carpool Dad podcast. Now park the car and find a snack before the kids do. See you next ride.